what's up guys, and welcome back to a brand new video on the gosh darn internet. Today I have quite a treat for you. As you've heard or may have not heard, depending on where you live, we have effectively invaded Venezuela. Now I got a lot of mixed feelings on this. Not really, actually. It's pretty straightforward. In fact, it's actually quite revitalizing in a way. Now I could go over the details that would probably bore people about why this is good, like literally good, and why, like, regardless of the fact the left would never ever cave to anything good Donald Trump has done at this point. Like, yes, elephants out of the room, and the most obvious two things could be true at once, right? Trump could be this corrupt kind of like weirdo whatever. He could be all these things. He could be a JEW, you know, he can do this, but he could also make good decisions, and this was actually a good decision. Now keep in mind, the left and the Democrats were going to inevitably do this as well in their own way. If you go back to a tweet from Joe Biden from 2000, he was already marking this Venezuelan guy as this and that. He was even trying to use it as a way to throw shade at Donald Trump. So that's just a little bit of what I talk about when it's like you can use the left's logic at them and like they'll panic. You know, never mind like the grifters in the left, like Midas Touch and stuff, who claim to be for the people yet never get back to the people, so they're just as bad as the people they're talking about. Like, this is part of the reason why, even though I'm not like ingrained in the cult of MAGA or whatever they say, I'm still gonna say this is a Trump W, and I'm even gonna go one step further and say that this just freaking revitalizes things. Although, to be honest, within his own fan base, it might just cause more of a fraction or a fracture, if you will, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Today, I want to present an Asmongold clip, as he had a take on this, and as you guys know, his takes often align with mine, alright? So that being said, we're going to look at this, but first I want to go ahead and give some spotlight to this lovely Twitter account that seems to be, I don't know, at first I thought it was a Hassan account, like it had to have been because of the fixation on Asmongold and trying to prove that he's wrong or morally wrong or whatever. But like, I don't know, man. Like, the problem I have with everything they're saying here is that they're just trying to work this like Asmongold is a flip-flopper out of this Venezuela thing, which is like, I mean, not really. I mean, I just kind of disagree, okay? I'm not gonna bore you with word salad like they are doing. I'm just going to simply go over Asmongold's clip. We're going to cut it up into pieces, and we're going to see if we can dissect anything out of it. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, play that clip, monkeys.
There's nobody that has the capability that we have. You know, when I watch that war in Russia going on and on and on, and everybody dying, and it's like, it's primitive. It's primitive. It's horrible.
Could you tell it? Oh my God. Wow. So, will this change your opinion on voting on Trump? Well, I mean, if he keeps this up for the next 3 years, maybe I would vote for him again, right? I mean, this is going pretty well. This is what I want you to do this on the first day.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's like I just said, this is definitely a Trump W. I mean, at least for people like me, like, this is a W, and I know a lot of people are going to be, like, pro-Trump on this move, because it only benefits America. Again, no matter what the lefty fake Democrats and, you know, the big channels like Midas Touch and stuff will have you believe with their manipulative words and whatnot, the fact of the matter is you can just throw this all at their face and say, well, that's a lot of moral grandstanding from people that claim to be for the people yet never get back to the people. How are you different than Donald Trump in that sense? I mean, it even goes further, is that these guys have had, you know, Gavin Newsom on their channel trying to make Donald Trump look bad, while Gavin Newsom actively voted against a bill that was going to tax, you know, richer people. So again, you're not for the people. You're putting on this illusion. All right, if you want to criticize Trump, you're going to have to criticize yourself. But again, as we've known from time and time again, the freaking left will never hold themselves accountable. And that's something you got to at least give the not the Democrats, the freaking the Republicans, because they will at least do that much, right? I'm not saying they're perfect and they're corrupt in their own way, but generally speaking, it's like Noel said, you gotta kind of just choose what freaking, like, even if you think they both suck, which you can make a case that they do, you have to align with what sees your views more. And I gotta say that the right has definitely been seeing my views more, especially as of lately, you know? So this is like, yeah, this is a W. This is definitely a move in the right direction. It only serves to benefit us. And again, smear jobs or just facts aside, if this entire thing about Trump is correct, I mean, you got to kind of put that to the side, right? Like, what the fuck, man? You can't live off of like, oh, we can't acknowledge anything good he does because, you know, he might be a rapist and a PDF. You know, you can't just like operate off of that, okay? Like, put it this way, freaking Kamala and them would have done the same thing, and the Democrats know it. They're just not gonna admit or cave to it. But, you know, that's lefty nature for you in general.
This is cool, but we have a lot of domestic enemies I wish we'd focus on. I think that's a fair criticism, and you're right to think that, that, like, you know, we have a lot of problems here in the U.S. You know, we need to focus on that, too, and not just think about, like, you know, regime change in Venezuela. But the reality is that Venezuela is an existential threat to America. It absolutely is. Whenever you have a cartel government that is based around running drugs and weapons and human trafficking inside of the United States, this is very clearly a problem for us. Like, this is it. It's not like they're sitting over there in their own area just killing each other. No, absolutely not. They go and they're doing it all over they're doing it all over the world, and they're doing it over here. We can't let that happen. What are you talking about?
This is another point Asmongold is right on, and I agree with. And it's worth noting, too, and it's very funny how, like, a lot of the Venezuelans are actually happy that this is happening. But like the ones that are here for some reason are protesting it, probably because they don't have to deal with the conditions that actual Venezuelans have to deal with. Like, literally, actual Venezuelans, real Venezuelans are so happy about this because they know Maduro was a piece of shit or whatever, and like they're just like pretty much up in arms. That's why another fraction of the hardcore conservative base, which is, you know, again, I'm like, while this might be a W overall, like the fan base in Trump's camp continuously is going to continue infighting because they're basically now seeing that Trump isn't white enough for them or Republican enough. So they're trying to, I have a feeling Trump is going to be the fall guy for some reason. It's kind of looking like that. And like, it doesn't matter how much good he tries to do now or how much good he executes. I think even in his own party, there's already enough, you know, deceit and probably a couple moles there that are going to inevitably make him be the fall guy. But still, like, Venezuelans here for some reason are like protesting Trump, which is the most idiotic thing ever. Why be patriotic over a country you don't even want to bother to stay in? Number one, logic doesn't make sense there, pal. And then number two, it's like, isn't it funny how like the privileged Venezuelans are the ones that are here that are patriotic about their country? You know, here in another country are the ones bitching and crying about this, while the ones that are in their own country slaving away at Maduro and just getting hurt by him are the ones that are like, thank you, Donald. Thank you, Donald. You know, it's fucking weird. It's fucking this weird shit that the left used to try to make freaking white people do and bow down to like fucking African Americans. Like, oh my God, I'm sorry for something I did. I'm you know, you're still oppressed even though you're getting multi-million-dollar contracts for making shitty mumble rap and also being just a general like test gorilla for being a footballer. Like, oh my God, guys, like, seriously, this kind of shit just makes me remember why I voted for Trump, right? Like, at this point we can just say, yes, everybody at the top is a rapist PDF, but like, you're gonna have to deal with it. There's nothing you can do about it. Just fucking accept it and just see which rapist PDF is the one making the best calls at this point, and which side, no matter how hypocritical they can be or identical to each other, which one just fills your ideology more. And again, I would rather take the Republicans or the conservatives any day over the stupid, weird, backwards logic and just almost borderline communism of the left. All right, I don't think that's such a hot take, and I don't think it's bad to feel patriotic about your own country, which is something that weirdo lefty socialist Marxism people try to make me feel like I shouldn't, but I'm just not going to take them off on that offer. It's not the gray area. It's not nuanced. It's just you being a fucking idiot. So let's just continue on.
So yeah. And the world should be thanking us for getting rid of them as a potential source of nuclear. Damn, I don't know why I can't talk. The world should be thanking us for getting rid of them as a potential source for nuclear escalation. Absolutely, you're right. 100% you are. You remember whenever Trump bombed Iran? And he just totally wiped out their nuclear system. Like, the entire place looked like it like changed the geography of the entire area. There were not even any photos of it. You couldn't even see it. And it's like you could see a difference with a fucking satellite. And you didn't even know where the building was. And so anyway, all this happened. And then everybody's like, oh, they're going to retaliate. They're going to fight back. Did they? After Iran, did anything happen? No, they didn't do shit. They didn't do a fucking thing. So this is exactly what's going to happen with this too. 100%. Who's next? President of Colombia? The president of Colombia, apparently Trump said he better watch his ass. Hassan's mental gymnastics are very tiring. Well, the thing is that, do you remember what I said? The viewpoint is always the less Western, less white, less Christian, less American, less, like Western culture thing is good. So basically, whatever is farther away from those values is the thing that these people will support. It is that simple. I know that you might think there's no way it's that simple. Absolutely it is. It is. And once you see it from that angle, it's hard not to keep seeing it that way because that's always how it's going to be. And it's so obvious too. Yeah, I think that you sound like a schizo saying it, but whenever you have so many points on a graph, you're going to be able to draw a line. So yeah, that's exactly what's happening. And I don't care about Venezuela. That's pennies to the illegal stuff in America compared to Mexico. Well, it's a lot of the thing is that if we're able to trade with Venezuela and we're also able to weaken other global enemies, the problem is that, I don't even really disagree with you, and I think that you can really do both. Like, if you're looking at what's happening in Venezuela and saying that, here's one thing I'm going to say, okay? Don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't do it. Because if you went on Twitter, everybody was saying, this is against international law. You have to wait for Congress. We'll read the Constitution. Oh, you can't just do that. That's illegal. It's a war crime. And you know what Trump did? He just went in there and did it. That's it. It's over. Just like what happened with Iran. Remember what happened after Iran? Nothing. Nothing happened.
So in conclusion, another W take by Asmongold. I pretty much agree. In regards to Donald, I mean, this is the W for Trump. Once again, regardless, all right, of what you have to say about him or what you think about him, this is definitely a W. If you give a fuck, if you give a flying fuck about this country, still, if you're an actual patriot, you would be 100% on board with this. The only way you're not is if you're LARPing around as one, or you're bitching and complaining here when you shouldn't even be here. That's literally the only case in which it can be. Or you're one of these weird white knight, self-entitled kind of weirdos that are like, oh yes, we know what's right for the Venezuelan, and Bob over here knows what's right for the Venezuelans. They deserve, I don't know, it's weird. It's fucking funny. It's like those episodes of South Park when they poked fun at the white people for basically hiring Mexicans as their slaves or their adopted children and stuff, while still pretending they're the savior. So it's this white savior complex that's on the left, where they think they're so goated that they're the ones that are saving these people. They have no souls, or they're just creatures, right? That's already demeaning enough as it is. And once again, you got your heavy leftist grifters out there, like Adam Mockler, Midas Touch, all these weirdos, Secular Talk, who, by the way, got completely owned by Asmongold. Even people that didn't like Asmongold watched Secular Talk and found out that he was full of shit. So again, these lefties will try to weasel their way into this shit with their fancy words, right? It doesn't really matter how many fancy words the Dems have. It doesn't matter how much leaps in logic, how much mental gymnastics. You know, the fact of the matter is you're just as bad as the Republicans, if not worse. So, once again, end of the day, it's good to be fully back on board for the most part with MAGA. Again, they're like the two elephants in the room, which is, you know, the Epstein thing, which is probably going to be like a perma thing on Trump, and then like the obvious Ethan Oive Klein shit of it all, which that's probably never going to change regardless. If you remember, you know, even your great Barack Obama lefties was kissing the wall, so this will never really change. This is just probably going to be the same thing for every president, unless, you know, they want a JFK repeat or some shit like that, or a Charlie repeat or some shit like that. Remember. But again, you got to make the most of what you got. And overall, something that I learned on this entire journey was that overall, even if two sides of the same coin, even if that argument exists, you had to choose what aligns more with your point of view. And at the end of the day, I can't really say that like anything the Republicans are really necessarily doing affect my way of life or my point of view or anything of that sort. I guess the only bad thing is that I have to share the space with people that I consider to be bad faith actors just because of what they've done and how outlandish they are about the whole thing, like demeaning Christianity in the process. But it's better not to think about that too much. Let's just stick to the positives. Otherwise, we'll cause even more of a divide in MAGA than there already kind of is. So, you know, here's hoping. Here's hoping. But if you enjoyed this video and it was somewhat informative, I would really appreciate if you send a like and did all that stuff that would get it going in the algo or whatever have you. Or you could hit the subscribe button and join the Senny Squad today. We're going to go on journeys, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go on multiple journeys, multiple arcs. And hey, I might even throw an anime reference here or there if it doesn't get me canceled. Anyway, until next time, guys, I'll see you all in the next video. And remember, don't be a rebard.